Hey everybody, Joe Robinson here at Spencer's Ventura Mattress Factory, and today we're going to cover how to get a great night's sleep every night. Spencer's going to give you a bunch of tips and share a little bit about what he does to get a great night's sleep, and I'm going to be talking to him and sharing some things that I do too. Hope it's really helpful. Getting a great night's sleep is one of the most critical things you can do for your health, so we really hope that you take this video in. Thanks so much for watching. I was wondering if we could cover how to get a good night's sleep. Like, what do you do for a good night's sleep? What are your tips for a great night's sleep? I know you can't get a great night's sleep every night because life can be challenging.
Right.
There's a lot we can do to make sure we get a good night's sleep.
I think your room environment, your bedroom. I mean, you start with the environment, the outer shell. Let's not even talk about the mattresses right now. It would be, for me, the most important thing is room temperature. That seems to be our battle at home. My wife and I will go from, I like a warmer room, and she likes it a lot cooler.
Right.
So it's but we do settle in at about 70 degrees for the home. And
Okay.
What do you guys?
We sleep at around 66, 67, which is a little bit more of an expensive AC build,
Right.
but it keeps me cool, and when I'm cool, I sleep way better.
Joe, it's worth every penny to spend on your room temperature. So a lot of our customers will say they don't have an air conditioner, which it's first of all, that would be a better investment right up front if you're not sleeping well.
I totally agree.
Then a new mattress.
Totally, I agree.
Mattress business.
If you don't have an AC and it's hot,
that would be
you can have the best mattress in the world. You're not going to sleep well.
Right. So that's temperature, and then we can go now into ambiance, like the lighting, the brightness of a room.
Totally. A lot of people don't pay attention.
Well,
to
the
this.
hotel industry has figured that one out. That's why they have the blackout like pull downs. As dark as you can get it, so there's no interruptions in lighting, would be great. So,
Yeah, I mean, the darker you can make your room, the better. You will sleep so much better.
Right.
We have circadian rhythm in our brain. The second there's a little bit of light, the body thinks,
It reacts.
it
Reacts
literally
to it.
reacts.
It does.
So,
It reacts.
and if you can't make your room dark, get a good, comfortable sleep mask.
So
'cause
true.
That'll do
So
the trick
true.
too.
So true. And then the last thing in the environment, there's more, but in the bedroom, would be sound. So leaving your TV on at night's not good. Any sound that comes externally into your sleep rhythm or
Yeah, any
pattern.
electrical sounds,
Yeah,
like
it's
weird
just,
fans.
shut your routers off. Shut your anything that makes a fan. There is such thing called white noise.
Totally.
Which there's studies that it's good for you to experience white noise while you sleep.
So I live in a place that's not that quiet. So what we do is we have a fan on a low setting, and then in the morning when it gets louder, we turn the fan up, and it literally gives us another 2 hours of
Right.
like sleep,
Right.
really good sleep quality.
Yeah, so sound is another. So that's your bedroom as a whole.
So keep it cool, keep it super dark, and keep it as quiet as possible,
And
or get some white noise.
And those are the basics.
Yeah.
You can get more technical, but those are the basics.
That's like the foundation.
Right. Before you even go out to buy a new mattress, just look at your sleeping environment.
Totally. So what's the next thing we have?
Next-
You wrote down here pre-sleep activities.
Well, pre-sleep activities, your daily rituals or routines can disturb your sleep or enhance it, depending on how you and when you do it all. So, for example, I'll give you my personal example, exercising. If I exercise closer to my bedtime, I find it harder to get to sleep. It takes me an extra hour and a half to get to my...
I'm the same way. If I do, especially if I do a really intensive workout, I need like a good 4 hours to calm down. If it's a lighter, like a light jog or a light walk, then I can do it a little bit closer.
Right, the heart rate. So as you keep your heart rate, it just takes a long time for the heart rate really to settle in. Even though it shows the number as being down, your adrenaline's still pumping through your body.
Oh,
So
and the exercise gets your mind going.
it
You
does.
start thinking about
It's
stuff
good for you.
differently.
It's great. But I would. So my recommendation would be 4 hours if it's a heavy workout prior to your bedtime.
Right, I think that's a good.
I think so. I think if it's a light workout, an hour. Or
How
two.
about eating?
Eating's a big one. I think eating's probably the most critical.
I think so,
Of
too.
course, we all know caffeine prior to sleep affects most people. Some people works the other way, but so anything with caffeine, sugar,
Anything
sugar,
that's
just gonna
high,
spike.
anything that's high in fat, like a big juicy steak, a big hamburger, you really want to eat it earlier in
Right.
the evening.
I
or
would say
for
the
lunch.
4-hour rule applies there too.
For sure.
I don't know. I'm just making that 4 hour up, but it's about what works for me.
You can get away with eating stuff a little bit later if it's an all veggie meal or
Right.
it's low
If
in
it's
sugar.
light,
but
that's
if
right.
you're spiking your blood sugar late at night, you're not going to sleep well. And
No.
alcohol. Stay away from alcohol if you can.
That's a given. That's
You know?
a given. I mean, a drink maybe, if but anything beyond that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna find yourself waking up in the middle of the night the second
That's
alcohol
right.
is
That's
leaving
right.
your system because
Yeah.
your liver's like, hey.
How many times do we get up? And not only that, to go to the bathroom as well.
Totally.
From all the fluid in your system. Yeah, keep your fluids really light prior to sleeping.
Here's-
Unless you have a drink that you could recommend to them out there that
Oh,
possibly.
to calm
calm
people
people
down.
down.
I think like a chamomile tea or a caffeine-free green tea. Anything that's not caffeine-free, that's warm, that kind of soothes the body.
Right. Yeah.
It can be really helpful.
Yeah.
I use melatonin almost pretty regularly, like 3 milligrams.
Do you notice a difference with that?
I do, yeah.
You do.
I notice a big difference. I also
Yeah.
take a break from it so that my body doesn't get too used to it because it can be habit forming.
Right.
One thing that you put on here that I think a lot of people probably do is a matter of ritual to be clean, but they don't think about it as important for sleep quality, and that's hygiene.
I call it sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
So I think that it's always nice to have a nice cool to warm shower prior to going to bed, maybe an hour before, just to feel fresh. It's invigorating. It's not too stimulating. You don't want hot or too cold. You don't want to stimulate too much, but I think something in that mid-range of temperature just tells your body you're clean, you're fresh. It's just
Totally.
It finishes out the day. So I think
Totally.
a good shower is always good.
I actually do a pretty hot shower right before bed, but if I do a hot bath, it backfires. I can't sleep. It's like too
or a
hot,
jacuzzi.
and it's almost like
Yeah.
working. It's like working out right before bed. It does not
Right.
work.
That jacuzzi, I have a jacuzzi at home. I'll sit in it, and it feels good. It takes me a little longer to get to sleep. It relaxes me there. I'm relaxed walking into the home, but then I can tell that just getting sleep's a little tougher.
Totally.
And, so.
And you also put on. You were talking about like you have like some people like to have a certain type of pajama. Some
Yeah.
people like it
I
loose or
mean,
something.
yeah, I mean,
So,
but-
what do you
Well,
have to say about
no
that?
pajamas, t-shirts, whatever you're wearing, I think should be not too loose, but looser than tight, if that makes sense.
Totally.
If it's too loose, you're going to find yourself lost, and we've all experienced that. You don't know if it's a sheet or your shirt, right, or your
Totally.
pajama bottoms. So and then the texture of the material.
I think that matters a lot.
If you're going to sleep in pajamas, we'll call them sleepwear, you want to make sure it's breathable. You want it to be a natural material more than you would a synthetic polyester or a nylon. You want your cottons because they breathe. Those natural fibers allow airflow.
Totally.
That's important for body temperature. So
Yeah, which I think we're approaching sleep surface. So
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
recap, keep it cool, keep it dark, keep it quiet, or have some white noise in the background. Eat earlier in the evening if you can, especially if it's a fatty or high sugar meal. Definitely eat way earlier. Get some movement. I guess we haven't really talked about movement, but if you're going to exercise earlier.
Earlier, yeah. Earlier is
And
good.
if you're not, if you're not somebody that exercises a lot, even just walking 20 minutes a day will do, and you haven't been doing that, that'll really shift your sleep cycle. Like that'll help your sleep a lot.
You're right.
Hygiene we've covered, and so that leaves us to the actual mattress.
It's what we do, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, a mattress has got to be about the comfort. So if it's not comfortable, it's useless. So you really have to want to go to that bed every night. You want to go to that bed and just tuck into that thing.
Totally.
And that has to do with, it's called top of bed. So you'll take a mattress, a nice comfortable one, but now what we put on top, which is called bedding, which would be your sheets, your mattress protectors, your comforter, your duvet, your pillow. Every one of those components have a particular reasoning behind whether you're going to sleep good or not. So you have to hit everyone right on. That's 50% of the sleep of getting good night's sleep. Your top of bed, that's what we call it.
All right.
So
top of
the
bed.
pillow. You had mentioned something about a protector.
Yeah, I've noticed whenever I sleep on a bed that has a mattress protector, I never sleep well, and I always wake up with night sweats. And I never could figure it out until I started looking to see if there was a mattress protector, and there was.
But do you know the difference between a protector and a topper, or a protector and a mattress pad?
Well, mattress protector is typically for like, one of the kids is wetting the bed.
A
and
non-permeable
people-
surface, so
Yeah.
nothing can go through. But people get confused. They don't understand a mattress pad, which is this right here. This is just a 1/4 inch. I don't know if they can see this on the.
Yeah,
on
they
the-
can see it.
It's a 1/4 inch fitted mattress pad that fits right over the bed, and that's for hygiene. You wash this every 3 weeks or so. Dust mites, any kind of skin dander, anything like that. You wash it out. It's fresh. But a protector is different. Protector is a smoother surface, Non-breathable, you put it on there and you sweat when you're on those
You
things.
sweat.
You sweat. So if you're sleeping warm, let's get rid of 20% of that heat right now. Everyone go to their room and take their protector off. It sounds good, doesn't it? But if you want to sleep well, get rid of the protector.
It is worth
Right.
the sleep.
Right.
For
Right.
sure.
So,
And then what about the actual bed itself? So the top of the bed, what about the inside, like the support and all that kind of stuff?
so we know that comfort's number one, but then the other second part is the support factor. So you don't want to feel like you're in a hole. We've talked about this in a lot of different videos.
Totally.
But you don't want to feel like you're in this whale of a hole, kinking your back up. Your back has to be in its natural form when you're on your side or your back. It's just got to be equal.
Totally.
So that's called support, and it's got to last. So that's what we build, is a nice supported core. Then you put your nice thick quilting on top, or a thin quilting, depending on what we're putting in there.
So if you're sinking in there,
Yeah.
you might want to consider a new mattress, because you're not going to sleep well with that sinking in
Right.
type of feeling.
Right. Yeah. Choosing the right comfort. I mean, people, they come into our showrooms and they're confused. They don't know what comfort to get. So
Totally. And like I bought a mattress from Spencer about 7 years ago,
That's right.
and it's done me really well. And now I've got a shoulder injury, and I'm needing something a lot softer. And my body's changed. 7
Right.
years ago I was in my early 30s. Now I'm approaching my 40s. My body is changing, and I can tell.
they say about every 10 years, and that's why beds are usually geared to last about 10 years.
Which leads us, I think, to the final point, which is screens, because we didn't talk about this before.
Oh.
So you don't want to be on your screens too much, and
Yeah.
screens today now have blue light, which totally triggers our circadian rhythm and makes us think that we're awake. So if you're on your phone or your TV, computer, whatever it might be, you need to get off the screen. Or like I've got glasses that actually have a blue light lens filter on it to block that out, which helps. But at the end of the day, it's the nights where I'm off my screen where I sleep a lot better.
Right. Some people will say that they'll watch TV and fall asleep to TV. It kind of lulls them to sleep, and I don't. I do that sometimes.
I've done that sometimes.
And I don't know
too.
if that's good or bad. And we need
Well,
to research
there's
that. one.
actually a study that just came out about that, and they're actually finding that people who watch TV in bed sometimes sleep better than people who don't watch TV in bed, who watch TV and then go to bed.
Really?
So
Yeah,
I guess because it allows them to relax more.
maybe
I don't know.
it probably depend on what you're watching as well.
Yeah. But our tip to you is keep the screen,
Room
turn
environment.
off-
It's all about the room environment.
Yeah, and turn your screens off like ideally an hour before bed, to give your body some time to decompress, slow down.
So I'll set my timer. I have a sleep timer on the TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that way it goes out whether I fall asleep or not to
Oh,
it.
that's great.
Yeah, and it's great. So I recommend setting a timer on your TV for whatever works for you. It's the best thing I ever did. So.
All right, great.
Yep.
Well, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
you're
all
welcome,
that.
Joe.
And,
Thank you for your information. as well.
hopefully that's really helpful. And if you
Yeah.
haven't been getting a good night's sleep, hopefully you will.
And also, if they have any questions on sleep, so we have a big trade association that has all this information that's available to us regarding sleep. So if you have any questions, please email me, give us a call. Our phone number is 805-658-2866, and that's in Ventura. Or you can email me at Spencer at pacificsleepdesign.com.
And you can visit us at spencersventuramattress.com.
Yeah.
You can check out our hours on Google Maps, Google, Facebook. We're all over the place. You can check out a lot more videos here on Facebook, on YouTube, and we cover a lot of different topics. And our goal is really to educate you guys on sleep, mattresses, the mattress industry, so you guys can have a healthier life.
I would love to have some of their questions. I really would, so we can answer them and do a nice video on it. To help
Definitely.
other
If you have
people.
any
So,
questions, please reach out to
Yeah.
us, and we'll make a video on it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
okay.
thanks a
All
lot.
right, Joe.